In this tumultuous world, where every voice clamors for our attention, there is a profound truth that the wise have always known. Silence is not a mere absence of sound, but a presence of strength, clarity, and depth. In our daily rush, we often overlook the treasure that silence holds, an invaluable tool that can transform the course of our lives if only we allow it to. In the hustle and bustle of life, many people are lost in constant motion, as if the very act of moving, speaking, or doing something at all somehow validates their existence. Yet there is something profoundly transformative about the practice of stillness. It is in this stillness, in the deliberate choice to remain quiet and unmoved, that we find not only clarity but strength. True power does not come from the noise of life, but from the ability to silence it and hear the quiet voice within. Stillness, often misunderstood as mere absence, is a vital presence in its own right. It is not a void to be feared, nor a moment of weakness. Instead, it is a deliberate return to oneself. We live in a world where distractions bombard us from every direction, yet the truly wise know that in order to hear their own thoughts, their own convictions, they must first step back, retreat into silence, and let the noise fall away. Without this stillness, one's thoughts become muddled, lost amidst the chaos of external forces. The world outside will always demand your attention, pulling you in 1,000 directions. But stillness is the anchor, the constant that holds you firm when everything else is shifting. It is in this quiet, this space where the mind is free from distractions, that we rediscover our center. In this space we become grounded in our purpose, able to hear the subtle but undeniable pull of our deeper self, leading us toward clarity and wisdom. True peace is found not in doing, but in being still. In silence the mind is allowed to breathe. We often think we need constant stimulation, constant action, to stay connected to the world. But in truth, it is in silence that we reconnect with ourselves. The ability to sit in stillness is the antidote to a world that values perpetual motion. It is here that the deepest truths are uncovered, where we can ask ourselves the important questions and find the answers that elude us in the noise of daily life. The more we embrace stillness, the more we allow ourselves to hear what matters most. Moreover, the power of stillness is not just personal. It has the capacity to impact the world around us. A person who has mastered the art of quiet reflection exudes a calm strength that others are drawn to. Stillness is not a retreat from the world. It is a way of engaging with it more deeply, more intentionally. When we are still, we move with purpose, and in that purposeful movement we can change the course of our lives and the lives of others. In a world full of noise, stillness is the truest form of power we can wield. Self-control is often viewed as a rigid force, something to be mustered in moments of weakness, but it is much more than that. It is a gentle but firm discipline that governs our actions, thoughts, and words. In a society that places value on immediate gratification and external validation, self-control stands as a quiet pillar of strength, silently shaping our lives in profound ways. The practice of silence is a vital part of this discipline, teaching us the importance of restraint in both speech and action. To remain silent is to exercise control over the impulses that constantly pull us toward unnecessary action. Self-control extends beyond the management of our speech. It governs our actions as well, shaping how we respond to situations that arise in our daily lives. We live in a world that constantly demands something from us, our time, our energy, our attention. Yet it is through silence that we learn to control how we respond. We are no longer slaves to every request, every demand, every distraction that crosses our path. Instead, we become deliberate in our actions, guided by a sense of purpose and restraint. Silence allows us to step back from the noise, reflect on our options, and respond with intention rather than react impulsively. Self-control also requires a profound understanding of our inner selves. It is not merely about silencing the external noise, but also about quieting the noise within. our fears, our insecurities, our desires, and our doubts. Silence allows us to see ourselves more clearly, to examine the parts of us that are often drowned out by the noise of the world. It gives us the chance to confront our weaknesses, to acknowledge the things we would rather ignore, and to strengthen ourselves in the areas that need growth. Through silence, we become more attuned to our inner world and develop a greater sense of mastery over our thoughts and desires. Ultimately, the discipline of self-control that is nurtured through silence is not just about restricting ourselves. It is about empowerment. By learning to control our reactions, our words, and our actions, we begin to shape a life that is led by intention rather than by external forces. Silence offers us the opportunity to pause, reflect, and act in alignment with our true purpose, rather than being swept away by the noise of the world. It is in this disciplined stillness that we find our truest strength. True peace is not the absence of noise or the avoidance of difficulty. It is the ability to remain at rest despite the turmoil. In silence, we learn to separate ourselves from the chaos that surrounds us. We understand that while we may not have control over the world outside, we do have control over our internal state. The more we practice silence, the more we find that peace is not something to be sought externally, but something that resides within us, waiting to be discovered in the stillness of our own hearts. In silence we come to realize that peace is not an external condition. It is a state of being that we must cultivate from within. The world will always be filled with noise, conflict, and stress, but by choosing silence, we strengthen our ability to find peace, no matter what the external circumstances may be. It is a practice of resilience, a reminder that we are not defined by what happens around us, but by how we respond to it. In the midst of chaos, silence becomes the anchor that holds us steady. Moreover, silence teaches us the importance of slowing down. In a fast-paced world, we are often encouraged to rush, to move quickly, and to accomplish as much as possible. But in the rush, we lose sight of the present moment. Silence calls us to slow down and to breathe. It asks us to embrace the present, to be fully aware of our thoughts, our feelings, and our surroundings. This slowing down is not a sign of weakness or laziness. It is a deliberate choice to find peace in the present moment, to be fully engaged with life without being overwhelmed by its pace. As we cultivate the practice of silence, we also come to understand the importance of boundaries. The chaos of the world is often a reflection of the lack of boundaries in our lives. Too many demands, too many voices, too many distractions. Silence teaches us to set limits, to create spaces where we can retreat and replenish our inner resources. It is through these boundaries that we protect our peace, ensuring that we are not constantly pulled in every direction. Silence provides the space to say no to the noise and yes to our own well-being. Finally, the peace found in silence is not fleeting, it is enduring. While external chaos may rise and fall, the inner peace that silence nurtures becomes a permanent part of who we are. It becomes a wellspring of strength that we can draw from whenever the world seeks to disturb our calm. The more we practice silence, the more we find that we can face life's challenges with a steady heart and a clear mind. In a world full of noise, silence becomes the foundation upon which we build lasting peace. In a world that rewards action, speed, and constant movement, the practice of reflection is often undervalued. Yet it is through thoughtful reflection that we unlock some of the deepest insights about ourselves, our lives, and the world around us. Reflection requires us to pause and look inward, to examine our thoughts, our choices, and our experiences. Silence is the perfect environment for this, as it offers the space and clarity necessary for true reflection to occur. It is only in the absence of noise that the mind can wander freely, contemplating what has been, what is, and what could be. To reflect is not to dwell on the past in a negative or unproductive way, but to learn from it. In the stillness of silence we can take an honest inventory of our lives. We can look at our actions, our decisions, and their outcomes. By reflecting on these moments, we gain wisdom. Wisdom that can guide us in future decisions. Wisdom that enables us to avoid past mistakes, and wisdom that gives us a clearer understanding of our personal journey. Thoughtful reflection turns experience into knowledge, and gives us the power to move forward with greater insight and purpose. One of the great benefits of thoughtful reflection is the ability to gain perspective. When we are caught up in the noise of daily life, it is easy to become consumed by our circumstances. Our emotions cloud our judgment, and we begin to see the world through a narrow lens. But in silence we are able to step back, detach ourselves from the immediacy of our situation, and see things from a broader perspective. Reflection allows us to zoom out from the small picture and recognize the larger patterns at play. This broader view enables us to make better decisions and navigate life's challenges with greater wisdom and foresight. Reflection also provides an opportunity for emotional clarity. Our emotions, especially in the heat of the moment, can be intense and overwhelming. Whether it is anger, fear, sadness, or joy, these emotions often distort our perception and lead us to act impulsively. Silence allows us to separate ourselves from these emotions, providing a space in which we can observe them without being controlled by them. In the quiet we can process our emotions thoughtfully, understanding their source and their impact. This emotional clarity helps us respond more intentionally, rather than reacting in ways that we may later regret. In silence, we are also able to reflect on our values and priorities. The world constantly pulls us in different directions, urging us to chase after fleeting desires, material success, or external approval. But through reflection, we reconnect with what truly matters to us, our core beliefs, our sense of purpose, and the things that bring us lasting fulfillment. In moments of stillness, we can ask ourselves the important questions. Are we living in alignment with our values? Are our choices reflecting the person we aspire to be? Thoughtful reflection helps us stay grounded in our purpose and ensures that our actions are aligned with our deeper convictions. Moreover, reflection is essential for growth. Without it, we can easily slip into a state of stagnation, going through the motions of life without truly evolving. Thoughtful reflection allows us to examine our progress, our setbacks, and our potential. It invites us to look at how far we've come and where we still need to improve. It encourages us to learn from our mistakes and celebrate our successes, all while maintaining a vision for the future. Without reflection, growth becomes haphazard and unintentional. Reflection ensures that our growth is deliberate, measured, and purposeful. The power of reflection also lies in its ability to foster gratitude. When we are constantly rushing from one thing to the next, it is easy to take our blessings for granted. But when we stop and reflect, we create a space in which we can truly appreciate what we have. Whether it's relationships, opportunities, or the simple joys of life, reflection allows us to recognize the good that already exists in our lives. This gratitude shifts our mindset, helping us focus on abundance rather than scarcity, and giving us the strength to face challenges with a sense of appreciation rather than complaint. Reflection is also a tool for self-awareness. It allows us to gain a deeper understanding of who we are, the strengths and weaknesses we carry within, the patterns of behavior that define us, and the fears that hold us back. In the silence of reflection, we can observe our thoughts and actions without judgment, acknowledging both our light and our shadow. This self-awareness is essential for growth and transformation. It gives us the ability to recognize areas that need improvement, and to celebrate the parts of ourselves that are already thriving. Through reflection, we become more attuned to our true nature, and more empowered to live in accordance with it. Another profound aspect of reflection is its ability to strengthen our relationships. When we take the time to reflect on our interactions with others, we gain insight into how our words and actions affect those around us. Reflection allows us to consider the impact we have on our loved ones, colleagues, and acquaintances, and it helps us identify areas where we can improve in our communication, empathy, and understanding. In this way, reflection becomes a tool for building stronger, more compassionate relationships, fostering a deeper connection with the people who matter most to us. Finally, reflection nurtures creativity and innovation. In the silence of thoughtful reflection, new ideas can surface. When we step away from the constant noise and activity, our minds have the freedom to wander and explore possibilities that we may not have considered in the rush of everyday life. Reflection gives us the time and space to think outside the box, to look at problems from new angles, and to come up with solutions that are not immediately obvious. It is in these quiet moments of reflection that the seeds of creativity are often planted, allowing us to innovate, adapt, and grow in ways that we never could have anticipated in the midst of constant action. In sum, thoughtful reflection is the gateway to deeper understanding, personal growth, and meaningful connection. It is in silence that we find the clarity, wisdom, and emotional clarity needed to navigate our lives with intention and purpose. Reflection turns every moment into an opportunity for learning and growth, ensuring that we are constantly evolving and moving toward the best version of ourselves. Without reflection, life becomes a blur, a series of events without meaning or direction. But in silence, we gain the ability to reflect deeply, to see our lives with clarity, and to chart a course for a more intentional, fulfilling future. In the relentless rhythm of modern life, we often forget the vital need to pause, to rest, and to recharge. The world constantly demands our attention, our energy, and our time, pulling us in countless directions. Yet in the pursuit of success, productivity, and achievement, we often overlook the essential truth that we are not machines. We are human beings, and our minds, bodies, and spirits need moments of stillness and rest in order to function at their best. The practice of silence offers us the opportunity to honor this need for recharging, providing a sanctuary where we can restore and rejuvenate our inner selves. Recharging is not just about physical rest. While sleep is undoubtedly important for our well-being, true recharging involves more than just physical rest. It requires emotional and mental rejuvenation as well. In a world full of distractions and demands, it is easy to become emotionally drained and mentally fatigued. Silence offers the space to step back from the constant emotional pull of relationships, responsibilities, and external expectations. It gives us the chance to breathe, to recalibrate, and to reconnect with our inner peace. In this stillness we replenish not only our energy, but also our emotional resilience, ensuring that we are better equipped to face the challenges ahead. One of the most powerful aspects of recharging through silence is the ability to disconnect from external influences. In our hyper-connected world, we are constantly bombarded with information, news, social media, work emails, and the opinions of others. This constant flow of data can leave us feeling overwhelmed and disconnected from ourselves. Silence provides a refuge from this never-ending stream of external noise. By stepping away from the digital world, the demands of others, and the pressure to always be on, we create space for our own thoughts and feelings to emerge. It is in this quietude that we can listen to ourselves without the interference of outside influences. Moreover, recharging through silence allows us to reconnect with our deeper sense of purpose. In the rush of daily life, it is easy to lose sight of why we do what we do. We become so focused on the tasks at hand that we forget to reflect on the bigger picture. Silence creates the conditions for this kind of reflection, allowing us to pause and ask ourselves the essential questions. What am I working toward? What do I value? Am I living in alignment with my true purpose? These moments of introspection in silence offer us the clarity we need to make sure that our actions are in line with our goals, values, and aspirations. Recharging is also about nurturing our spiritual health. Just as our bodies need physical rest and our minds require mental relaxation, our souls need time to reconnect with their source. Silence offers a sacred space for this spiritual renewal, whether through prayer, meditation, or simply being still in the presence of something greater than ourselves. Moments of silence allow us to refresh our spirits. These moments of spiritual recharging remind us that we are not solely defined by our work, our achievements, or our relationships. We are part of something greater, and it is in silence that we can feel that connection most deeply. In addition to spiritual and emotional renewal, silence provides an opportunity to reconnect with our creativity. The noise of the world often drowns out the quiet voice of inspiration. In the hustle and bustle of everyday life, we are often too busy to hear our own creative impulses, let alone act on them. Silence, however, offers the freedom for our minds to wander, for ideas to emerge, and for innovation to take root. In the stillness, we can discover new ways of thinking, problem-solving, and creating. The act of recharging through silence opens up space for our creativity to flourish, allowing us to approach challenges with fresh perspectives and innovative solutions. Equally important is the fact that recharging through silence enhances our ability to be present. When we are constantly distracted, our attention is fragmented. We are pulled in so many directions that we cannot fully engage with the moment at hand. Silence, however, teaches us to slow down and focus. It helps us cultivate mindfulness. By honoring the need for silence, we train ourselves to be more present with those around us, to engage more deeply with our work, and to appreciate the beauty of the present moment. Furthermore, the act of recharging through silence allows us to gain perspective on our struggles and challenges. When we are caught up in the chaos of life, problems can seem insurmountable. Our minds race, our emotions run high, and we can feel overwhelmed. But in moments of silence, we step away from the situation and gain distance. This distance provides clarity. It allows us to look at our challenges from a broader perspective, to see solutions that we may not have noticed in the heat of the moment. Silence helps us process difficulties with a calm and measured approach, empowering us to face our challenges with renewed strength and insight. Silence also promotes physical healing. Our bodies, like our minds, can become exhausted, worn down by the constant demands of daily life. Just as we need sleep to recover physically, our bodies benefit from moments of quiet, where we are not constantly on the move. Silence allows our bodies to rest and heal from the accumulated stress and tension that builds up over time, whether it's through a quiet walk in nature, a moment of stillness in a comfortable chair, or simply taking a break from work. Silence offers us the physical reprieve we need to regain our strength.